First of all, I want to thank all of you for coming out this evening. There's a lot of special people in here that I want to thank. I'm probably going to miss some names, so forgive me ahead of time if I do. I want to acknowledge our Mayor Rawlings for coming out. I want to acknowledge our guest speaker, Michael Sorrell, president of Paul Quinn. You'll hear from him a little bit later. Our celebrity bartender, my YPO friend, Mr. Donnie Nelson. You know, the reason why we're here, for those of you who may not know, of course to network, to catch up with old friends and to meet new friends. But we're here for education, and we're here for the kids. And I had the opportunity to attend the State of the District luncheon a couple of days ago. And our new superintendent was talking about the state of the education in DISD. And one of the things that he mentioned was it takes a village. And if anyone in this room is like me when I was growing up, you know, when you went outside and you did something wrong, or if you didn't get your homework right, and your parents weren't around, either your neighbor or your grandmother or someone would make sure that you got it right. And so our kids in DISD, it takes an entire village to make sure that they get the education that they need. When I was listening to the superintendent the other day, there are a couple of stats that, in my opinion, was pretty startling. The good news was that over the past couple of years, we've been graduating more kids from high school. So that's great. But in the back of my mind, I thought, okay, they're finishing high school, but are they really ready for college? And he showed some other stats for DISD that said that they're not necessarily ready for college. And for me, that's kind of a scary proposition, because not only am I from Dallas and I have a business here, but when I think about the students that are in school today, they're going to be our doctors, our teachers, our lawyers. They're going to be the resources that, as business people, we pull from to put into our companies. And if we don't take a vested interest, if we don't, as a village, make sure that our young people get educated today, then what happens to our community? A friend of mine is an educator at a local high school here, and she gave me some numbers that I thought was pretty startling. And the school has about, I think, almost 4,000 students. And let's say about half of them were boys and half of them were girls, so roughly about 2,000 girls. Well, she told me that almost 50% of the girls at this school have been pregnant at least once. That's at one school. And so when you do the math and you think about those numbers, we've got our young people, our young girls in our city that are getting pregnant 15, 16 years old. They may or may not finish high school. By the time they get into their early 20s, their child will be in first grade. And so then if their mother didn't finish school, then what are the odds that they will? So the reason why we're here, Heart of a Warrior, we have a Young Warrior Summer Learning Program, and it's an 8-week program. And we go into neighborhoods where kids don't necessarily have opportunities to great education. And so we've come in and we've provided a free program where we do math and science and reading. But we also do some really great field trips. And so those field trips, I'll give you some examples. We've taken them to Lockheed Martin. We've taken them to University of Dallas Nano Robotic Lab. We've taken them to Southwest Airlines. We were actually working on a project out there with Hensel Phelps. And Hensel Phelps was gracious enough to set up like different stations, about 8 different stations, and talked to the kids about construction trades and the things that they had to learn in school, math and science and reading and all those things that are important to be able to do those trades. And then they got to sit outside and watch the planes take off and have lunch. We've taken them to a culinary school. And so the reason why we're here today is to make sure that those kids can continue those programs. The foundation is called Heart of a Warrior, and I believe that we're all warriors in this room, and I believe that it will take all of us in our village to make sure that our children are successful in school. So with that, I want to say thank you for coming. We've got some great silent auction items for you to bid on. I'll make you whatever kind of drink you want. I think I have a pretty heavy hand. I got in trouble a second ago, so and we've got a bucket up there for you to make tips and donations to the foundation. At this time, I would love to have Donnie to come up and say a few words. And then after him, we'll have Michael Sorrell come up and say a few words as well.